Thanks, gentlemen. The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Colorado, Ms. DeGette, for 5 minutes for her questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Recently, we had a hearing in the Energy Subcommittee on the grid, and all of the witnesses at that hearing agreed that the energy sector is increasingly moving towards renewable energy. And so I'd like to ask all of you, as we move towards renewable technologies like wind, solar, and battery storage, that's going to require materials like cobalt, copper, graphite, and other rare earth minerals, correct? Ms. Hunter?
Yes, renewable energy sources typically depend on a multitude and variety of critical mineral resources.
So in your, Ms. Hunter, in your testimony, you noted that the Advanced Manufacturing Production Credit made possible by the IRA would help to offset domestic critical mineral mining costs. Is that right?
Within the 45X production tax credit, there is a 10% for critical minerals production, including critical mineral inputs and indirect inputs, that can help with the distorted playing field that American processors currently compete on, insulating them also from the price manipulations that we've seen that have been used nefariously with certain minerals by the PRC.
Thank you. I'm sorry to say that my Republican colleagues are trying to cut that funding along with $500 billion in clean energy incentives that would support American business. So, Mr. Howell, I want to ask you, in your testimony, you pointed the IIJA's $6 billion investment in battery manufacturing is necessary to compete with global competitors like China. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so the president previously froze this IIJA funding stream and proposes to cut $15 billion in IIJA funds. So that's not going to help to help us become independent with these productions, is it?
It will not, and do recognize that that many of those programs are actually first-of-a-kind production facilities in the United States. So the federal government helping to buy down that risk is very important for private sector investment.
And building out a successful critical mineral supply chain domestically is also going to require upholding the highest mine safety standards. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And why would that be?
The highest mine safety.
Yeah, why would you, if you're going to build out the network, some of your fellow witnesses here have suggested that we just, and none of us think we should have unreasonable delays in permitting or anything like that. But at the same time, as you're going to develop more domestic production, you still have to keep high standards. Is that right?
That is correct. And we have examples around the world. Australia is a great example of having very high environmental standards for mining and accelerated permitting.
So it can be done. You don't have to sacrifice standards for speed.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, unfortunately, President Trump and Elon Musk's Doge proposed eliminating more than 30 mine safety and health administration offices where mine safety experts inspected over 17,000 sites last year. I'm wondering if, Mr. Howell, if you could tell me whether closing mine safety offices would mean there would be less oversight over mine safety practices.
I think that there could be less oversight. I do think there's lots of room for improvement in mine safety inspection. AI was mentioned before, but bringing together federal agencies like the Department of Interior, Department of Defense, Department of Energy, and using the expertise that we have that's already located in those agencies could accelerate mine permitting and increase safety.
I think that would be a splendid suggestion, and if you have any further thoughts on that, if you could supplement your testimony, that'd be really helpful to this committee as we try to develop bipartisan legislation. I yield back.